How to animate the player part 2.
Hi guys, when the game starts, the first animation to be played is the one in orange, I mean the idle one. So now let's create the first transition between the idle animation and the run animation. To do so, click right on the idle animation and select make transition, and white arrow will appear, link it to the player animation. Now we will handle this transition, so click on it, it will become blue, and uncheck the S exit time checkbox, and even the fixed duration you can unselect it and put the transition duration to 0. So when you do so, you will see that to go from the player animation to the run animation, it will be instantly. So now let's create a parameter. Click on the parameters tab here, and in place choose float and give a name. We'll call this float anim speed. Enter. So now let's put some condition. When we go from the idle animation to the run animation, so select the transition, and then in the condition, for instance, the list is empty, so click on plus, and you got we pass from the idle animation to the run animation if this condition is right. I mean, if the anim speed is greater than, let's put a little number like 0.01. Enter. And let's create a transition in the other side. So if I click the player run animation, if I click right and I make a transition, so here is the transition to go from the run animation to the idle one. So it will be played at the condition that the anim speed is less this time than 0.01. Guys, for this transition I forgot to uncheck the S exit time and even the fixed duration, and the transition duration put it also to 0. Enter. Guys, let's return to our player controller script and let's see the strategy to play the run animation by code. So first we have to create and assign an animator variable inside the variable and assigning zone. Second, we have to create an anim speed variable inside the animator window. We already did that. And third, we have to create the animation when we press the right or left arrow keys. So let's start by the first point. So to create an animator variable, so we have to type or to write the type, which is animator, and the name of the variable will be anim. So let's select this line, Control C, and let's put it inside the variable zone. Okay, so now to assign the animator variable, we have to write anim equal get component animator. So Control C, and I will put it inside the assigning zone, which is the start method. So here is the assigning of the anim variable. So third, we have to create, an method. I already create it, but it is empty. This is the animation method. Guys, our goal is to play the player run animation if we press the right or left arrow key. So to do so, we have to select this line, so Control C to copy it and paste it inside the animation method, and I will explain. So now we will manage the anim variable that we have created. So you type anim that set float. Which float you have to set? We have to set the anim speed variable that we have created earlier in the animator window, and we will set to the value of horizontal input. If you remember, the horizontal input take a positive value if we press the right arrow and the negative value if we press the left arrow. Guys, remember that the player run animation is played at the condition that the anim speed is greater than the value 001. So we have an issue because the anim speed here can take a negative value, especially if I press the left arrow key. So to avoid that, let's write here mat f dot abs for absolute and bracket here and here. It means that now we only take or convert the horizontal input on a positive value. Hence, the player run animation will be played at the condition that the animation speed parameter will be greater than the value of 0.01. So guys, let's call the animation method. So I'll copy it and let's call it inside the main method, I mean the update method. So just below the flip method, I will call the animation one. I will save the script and then I will return to Unity. Guys, before to run the game, just be sure that if you select the player, you got a controller, but here there is no controller. So let's return to our animation folder. Let's take the player controller and put it here inside the controller. So now if you press the run arrow, you will see that if you select the right arrow key, our player is running, and if I press the left arrow key, is running too. So everything is good, guys.
To animate the run animation of the player, you must first use the animator window to create transition between clips, and second, use the set float statement to trigger the run animation.